Jake Libby, a 21-year-old Devonian, made an outstanding start to his championship career, scoring 100 on his debut for Nottinghamshire, who unearthed a new talent as he and James Taylor, with his first ton of the LV County Championship summer, batting their side into an excellent position on the second day of their game with Sussex at Trent Bridge. The visitors began the second morning on 358 for 9, and the last pair of Ashar Zaidi and Lewis Hatchett added 33 more in the first half hour. 8 overs went by before Zaidi walked after being hit on the pads by Harry Gurney for 37. Sussex all out for 391 to just miss out on a 5th batting bonus point. Alex Hales shouldn't have made a start to the reply. He was dropped in the slips by Ed Joyce off Chris Jordan while still in single figures. Libby had just signed a 2-year deal after playing a couple of first-class games for Cardiff University in April and scoring plenty of runs for the Nottinghamshire second 11. He looked good from the off. His day, though, could have been a very different story, as he too was given a life in the slips by Joyce, this time off Steve McGoffin, when he was on 25. It meant that Notts got off to one of their better starts at the top of the order, Hales looking to finish off a splendid summer with the bat in all formats. 2014 will be a year that he may look back on as the one which changed his career for the better in the long term. He was at his 7th 50 from 19 championship knocks this year, his latest coming off 69 balls with this single off McGoffin, an innings containing 11 fours. Libby must have been learning a lot from being at the other end to him. The two opened up with a stand of 97. Hales had made 57 of those when he was bowled by a beauty from McGoffin, who'd now bagged 60 victims in the championship this summer. His 61st arrived in his next over, Michael Lum edging the Australian behind before troubling the scorers. The 100 was soon posted and Libby continued to turn a few heads with some of the shots he produced. He drove especially well, and such a stroke took him to his 50 off 119 balls, that being his 8th 4. He was quickly congratulated by the equally diminutive Taylor, another high-class performer who it must have been a joy to bat with. Libby could hardly have made a more impressive start to his career. He and Taylor then started to take over. Nottinghamshire have struggled with the bat in recent games, but this was them back to their best, with these two playing some top shots as they started to put their team on top with a big third wicket partnership. It was back to earlier in the summer where scoring runs was not a problem for the home team. Taylor has got used to raising his bat for 50s this year. Indeed, this shot, which brought him one of 3 fours in an over from Luke Wells, took him to the half-century mark for the 9th time, this one occupying 66 deliveries. None of the previous 8, though, had been converted into a 3-figure score. Into the evening session, which began with Libby on 70 and Notts on 198 for 2, and this partnership continued to build. Libby was showing no signs of nerves, nor Taylor, who must have also been feeling a little bit of pressure, having failed to get to 3 figures for such a long time. He has, of course, scored plenty of runs in the other competitions, however. This is the moment Libby will want to see over and over again. A well-placed late cut off Chris Nash, taking him to his maiden first-class 100 in his very first innings in Championship cricket. He'd been at the crease for 280 minutes and had faced 247 balls to get to this point, 15 of which had brought him boundaries. It was a knock which would have impressed all of his more illustrious teammates. Taylor applauded him for some time in the middle. Indeed, the applause for him came from everywhere, including his parents who were in the ground. Libby was finally out in the 78th over, playing a ball from Hatchett back onto his leg stump to leave with 108 runs to his name, and surely a future secured. Next up was Taylor's ton, the 18th of his career, but his first in a very long time, hence his celebration. His 100 had come off only 146 balls, an innings including 12 fours. He and Libby had made this one of their side's best days in the last few weeks. Taylor will want to go on for many more on day 3. He'll resume on 101, made out of Nottinghamshire's 310 for 3, a total which leaves them trailing by only 81 runs and in control of this contest, an important one in the battle to finish most probably in 3rd place.